What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyt, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Lightning Volt. We'll be referring to him as Volt throughout this game. His opponent today in the red color, playing as a Poseidon. His name is Nakamura, and yes, you will notice already that these players have already advanced to the classical age. This is Deathmatch here. We've already got Forseti and we've already got Hermes, and these players will decide on which god's path to go immediately as they're starting to sprawl out onto the map. The Loki player Volt here already throwing up longhouses, temple, everything else over on this side, and filling out this other side of the map with watchtowers, longhouses, everything. We see a centaur coming in trying to create a little bit of mayhem here as the buildings are attempting to get slowed down. We see Bragi, we see Aphrodite, Nakamura throwing down his military buildings here, trying to create a building wall here to get his units started initially. He wants to make those a pass best to deal with the immediate infantry spammage of the Loki player, Lightning Volt, he's got his buildings coming here, but the Hephaestus are marching down. We're starting to see Nakamura trying to sort out this side of the map as well. This is DM Wetlands. It seems to be a map that looks similar to Marsh, but with a mix of marsh and oasis in a way. Lots of food on the map all over the place, and the big marsh trees in the middle to cut off the map a lot. And we do see fire giants coming in here. Nemean Rex is in here, gets frozen here after using its stun ability. One of the changes here in the DM patch 2021, of which there are many, and we'll see a lot of them, is the Nemean Lion. Now gets a lot of use here in this game, being able to stun units as if it's a Monkey King, I guess. And we're also seeing over here the towers are up for Mr. Lightning Volt, who is on the back foot, going to be throwing up some walls here, wants to secure his market and his trade route. We already see a sneaky side build here from Volt, getting in behind Nakamura. Nakamura's going to have no idea about that. He's throwing up his fortress. He's starting to get ready. And here is the unit everyone's been talking about. This is the Cersei. You get Cersei as Poseidon in DM patch. It's obviously a little bit weaker than campaign Cersei, but very, very strong unit. Replaces Polyphemus and is a very, very good counter to myth units and everything else. Gets to shoot out that lightning rod and hit a bunch of stuff here. As all the buildings still trying to get up for Volt. Both players fairly high in population. Nakamura trying to sort his population out as he's continuously pushing in. Still throwing up the towers. Some champion Tyroi starting to come out as we're starting to see some walls coming out for Nakamura. He might actually spot this side build here if that villager comes over here. So that's a little bit unfortunate for Volt, who wants to get that set up and do some sort of cheeky surprise. Now in Deathmatch, you start with tons of resources and every single upgrade researched. So it's vitally important for you to make sure you manage your economy correctly. You don't want to overproduce military at the start of the game without producing your economy, getting that going. So unlike in Supremacy, where you want to go up to like 120 villagers, in Deathmatch you're looking more at 60 villagers to have the rest of that being population in army, which whereby you don't have to bother getting anything from the armory or the economic upgrades or anything like that. So you don't need those extra units to make it happen, or those extra economy to make it happen. And we're starting to see that Cersei doing tons of damage here. Deals hack damage, 30%. Very, very similar to the Son of Osiris. Obviously a little bit weaker, only dealing 30 hack damage. I believe that's per shot and not per second, but I could be wrong. Surely someone in the chat can tell everyone what is actually going on with how Cersei works if they're a deathmatch player. We're starting to see more champion Hataro coming in, trying to take down these longhouses. These do so much damage. You can see all the upgrades that they have as the longhouse is going down. This hill fort has been spotted now as Volt has got some mountain giants. Now, the mountain giants do have Rampage already, obviously, because we've seen Hell as the God of Choice plus the Granite Blood. So this is going to be a very tough unit to deal with if he gets this side push coming in. He can come in, he can take out the houses, he can take out the fortified town centers. There is an Atlanta already in the base and a Nemean Lion here he could use to keep that defended. Starting to see more coming out. He wants to build up a couple of them before he sends them in. Doesn't want to give away his position just yet. We're starting to see some hill forts creeping in onto this location. Good walls set up by Volt, but he might want to consider getting the walls off this side as well. And same for Nakamura over here. Allowing Volt into his base by not walling off this choke point might be an issue, because if he can get in and chuck something up in this location, it's going to be tough. But there is a lot of line of sight that is garnered by getting carrier pigeons here, getting the +6 line of sight. So it's hard to get those side builds in. As we see the Thyroid coming in to kill the hill fort off, and the mountain giants coming in. We're starting to see some granaries coming down by Nakamura in order to try and slow down these mountain giants. But the mountain giants will come in, whack everything down, and then we'll see some militia popping out of here for Nakamura. As there's the Nidhogg coming out. Oh, Nakamura not paying attention. The Nidhogg does so much splash damage to units here. I think this is a buffed Nidhogg as well. Unlike in Supremacy, this has got 3,000 HP, 60 hack damage, 60 crush damage. So it's also decent against buildings as well. And this is going to be a really important unit to keep alive. So super strong God power here to be used in this deathmatch game. And now we're seeing plenty of ult coming through for Nakamura. Those mountain giants still causing an absolute chaotic damage into Nakamura's base. However, the Cersei is here. The Nemean Lion going to come and slow down the damage. Plus, all the villagers repairing this. Now, in Deathmatch, your town center does take longer to build than otherwise. So you do have to make sure that you don't lose them. It's vitally important. Meanwhile, this is all happening. We're seeing Volt attempting to push in onto this town center, but he's not going to quite be able to get in there. Might need to consider getting up some towers on this location to push in. But at this point, it's looking like, at the very least, Volt is set up economically. He's got a decent amount of villagers out. Nakamura's also got good villagers out as well, but obviously no trade route just yet, as this wall is coming up on this side of the map to defend any trade routes that Nakamura might want to start. So that's going to be incredibly big here for these players, as they're having just a little bit of lag. Not sure if that's me or what's going on, because I'm so far away that everyone is always red ping. We're watching this game from across the world. Anyways, at this point, where these walls over here that Volt can set up may be absolutely huge. We can see a bunch of units over here for Volt, but if you can get these walls set up, then these ballistas, they can just completely decimate this. It's going to be really tough for Nakamura to push back, and it is looking like maybe Volt has a little bit more population to play with right now, because he's got those less villagers, as we're seeing flaming weapons coming through, and Curse coming in for Nakamura. And a lot of those units do fall in this location here. And obviously Volt really struggling for resources at this point. His trade's kind of being a little bit obnoxious going around everything here, going through this wall. He's going to have to fix that up a little bit, otherwise that might be an issue later. And I still don't see any trader outside for Nakamura. He will start it up over here, though the market not touching the edge of the map like Volt's. Obviously, I don't think this is where Nakamura wants to throw his market, but he's going to throw it here and see what he can do. Now Volt trying to push back through here. And then we see the ceasefire coming in for Nakamura, giving himself a little bit of time here. But this is a big problem here. If Volt has got some units onto this location, he can get all those walls up and just live the dream and just in this location here. If he can just control all of this space here. But it looks like Nakamura moving in with some villages. He wants to fill this up with some buildings himself. We see some buildings getting snuck through onto the back of Volt's base here, just running the villages forward. This is going to be a little bit of a difficult thing for him to deal with because there's just a big gap in his base here for both of these villages to walk through. Not throwing down walls over here. I'm not sure if this is just like DM code or something. You know, like don't completely wall up the map, but just allowing a gap here is going to allow these villagers to come in and just cause some chaos. But the walls for Volt are coming up here, and we'll see how this is going to go. So these walls are actually kind of already finished here. And I think they will get up before this ceasefire is up if the micro on these walls is any good. It isn't looking like that's what's going to happen. Do we see trade started? No trade for Nakamura. And so as he's going to be shooting that lightning over here and holding on. She really actually doesn't do that much damage. You see one shot of damage there onto the fire giant. Looked like it only did about 60 damage. It does 400. She does 400% bonus damage against myth units, but doesn't look like it's a crazy amount of damage. Whereas Hippolyta and Theseus, they go to town. The building's starting to come up over here, and they're getting cleaned up. These mountain giants and everything else, very, very strong. We see a stables up in this location. Nakamura not really paying attention to his villagers. He could have snuck all the way into this corner here. And I think this might be spotted by the watchtower of Volt as well. Meanwhile, we see the thyroid coming in, going to be cleaning out this market here. Very, very nice play. We see the wall is finally up, but it looks like, well, it did look like that was an opening there, but that's not the case. And Volt's still trying to push back. We see some markets or stables trying to come up in this corner here. Potentially a market like here, going over to this town center, isn't actually that bad. Like, it's actually still pretty good if you can get that. I'm not sure what the lag is, because it was going fine at the start. It's just starting to cook up a bit. But we'll see. Apparently walls are more expensive. 45 gold for that wall there. That's actually true. There you go. It's about right. This is what walls should cost in the real game, in Supremacy, I reckon. Now we're looking like we're getting along. Ballister's shooting some stuff down in the back. Again, this location is set up now for Volt, so he can just continue to put pressure on here. The slow push from Norse is so devastating. If the towers and walls are set up, these ballasts will just do so much damage from afar, and they just can't get pushed back. And obviously, just taking the town center down will be incredibly strong and difficult for Nakamura to do anything about. Now we see Volt retreating back. These Toxotes in the back doing a lot of work here. As I'm starting to see Petropolis come in now. Petropolis Toxotes is sort of the late game comp you want, but you do need to start up your towers as well. Otherwise, it can be very simple to come in and clean these Petropolis up. They are very, very weak to fully upgraded units coming in and giving them a big whacks. So we'll see if that's something Nakamura is going to have resources for. He does have quite a bit of wood and gold in the bank. So we'll see when he wants to sort of sort that out. Now I've got Heliopolis coming in onto this location here. Very, very strong unit here. Going to be able to clean up some walls in order to allow their champion Atari Hippocon to come through. But this town center does look like it will go down very, very quickly, but the wall is cleaned up. That's a very nice play there from Nakamura to bring the Tyroi and the Heliopolis in. That's going to keep this alive for a little bit longer. These watchtowers, I believe, the crenellations, instead of doing 150% bonus damage against cavalry, only does 100% bonus against cavalry. So cavalry a little bit stronger in this late game than they otherwise would be. So they become a lot more useful to be produced when the towers are all set up. The towers still doing 100% bonus damage to cavalry. Still a big deal. And it is looking like this push here is getting dealt with. Meanwhile, we're seeing a Volt now switch the side that he has Ballaster over onto this location. He's going after Cersei yet again, who is getting pulled back, almost picked off there. In fact, the Fire Giant Ballaster combo, the Norse Wet Dream, looks like it's been sort of created here. What I'd love to see from Volt is if he can bash through this gate, this wall, and send an Ulfsark back and somehow sneak a temple up in one of these corners or something, he can start getting those Fire Giants coming through with a Rampage. You can see Volt's got 71 favor in the bank, so that's obviously very, very good. His trade caravans giving him a lot of resources at this point. As you can see, they've got 88 gold income, and we're seeing 88 gold income for Nakamura as well. No, that's 46. Tell a lie. So very much weaker, but he does have the Osberg wagon, which is plus 15% caravan move speed, which is absolutely huge. This is normally when you see a relic, you're looking at 5 to 10% bonus economy on that relic, like the extra whatever the pick at whatever the gold gather rate technology is looking like 10%, but this is 15%, and I believe this is a nerfed relic as well. I believe this is 25 or 20. I believe this is 20% normally on no patch, or at least on supremacy patch. So that relic is going to help out Nakamura a ton as this game progresses here, especially because he's struggling for that trade route. So it's not as bad as you might think. But the Tyroi do sneak in. They'll kill off one of these markets. I think there's nothing really wrong here with just spamming markets kind of everywhere. But obviously, Volt doesn't have the resources to do that. He's got very low economy, only 36 villages plus those caravans. If I see the units, it's you. There it is. How many caravans? It's got 27 caravans, 31 villages. So it's roughly that 60 villager mark, whereas Nakamura is an 80 villages and 19 caravans. So very, very different comp here. As Nakamura feels like he needs that extra economy to keep up, and he is a little bit right here so far. The Tyroi don't manage to pick off both the markets. We'll see another market coming down for Volt eventually, and putting them between walls. I like that from Volt. Over on this location here, Nakamura is still trying to make his way through, but Volt defending nicely, just keeping the spam up. Walls coming up over here for Volt as well at some point. So we see Cersei just this just doesn't look like she does that much damage. Give me Polyphemus, man. Polyphemus is so strong. She looks cool, though. Nemean Rex here coming and stunning these units. Very, very strong. Surprised to see no Colossus, though. I feel like Colossus in this situation would be pretty good. That would force out Frost Giants instead of Fire Giants, and when you're in a bit of a different situation, it's starting to see Volt opening up this location here, chopping down that wood. See Nakamura, he's got the extra storehouse efficiency coming up. Very, very efficient use of the storehouses. But maybe we'll start seeing Volt starting to use those portable rams. He doesn't have access to Balder, so he didn't go Balder, so he doesn't have Balder rams. But still very, very strong. We're seeing more Fire Giants coming in here for Volt. Every time those Fire Giants get picked off, more just come in and say good day. We do have some Herso here. We haven't really seen many myth unit spawns from our Loki player, utilizing these Hersa That's normally because he's full population, but right now 126 population. He really needs to get a couple more villagers onto food here, and get the trade sorted a little bit better. That's going to be allowing Nakamura back into this game, which I feel like Volt's been in the lead for the most time here. He's just not building any villages out of any of these town centers. And he's only got, like, well, yeah, he's only got 14 villages on food. It's just is not really enough. You need to look at more like 20 to 25 late game for the food. Wood's kind of less important. He does have about 15 on that, so that's about right. You can see he's struggling for wood as well, so maybe a couple more there would be good. But it looks like Volt's just a little bit too concentrated on what's going on elsewhere, trying to make good trades. You see more Hatairoi coming through for Nakamura. He just keeps on trying to make these Hatairoi work. He will be able to push through this wall here as well. So the Hatairoi coming in, going to be able to pick off some of these ballista that are trying to retreat away. It's very, very smart from Nakamura. It's lots of resources down the drain from for Volt, and he's going to be hurting after losing all those ballista. Though he can swap the battleground over yet again, just consistently going from one side of the map to the other. But at this point, it's looking like Volt has got all of his population over here, and that's going to allow these Hatairoi to come in and hit these markets yet again and leave that open. And a lot of this will be cleaned up if Nakamura can hold while this push comes through, which he probably will be able to. I'm still surprised to see no real towers coming up in this location here for Volt, but that's more of a product of the poor wood economy he's got. But he's got so much gold. He could just buy wood here. You can see 33 gold buys you 100 wood. That's super value. So he could just shift click on that, get himself 500 wood, and then just build all the towers he would want here. Obviously, he didn't go Heimdall. He went for the Forseti. I guess that's for the faster Herser and stronger Ulfstark. But if he went Heimdall, he gets super strong towers and walls as well. Honestly, surprised to see that. I feel like Heimdall is probably the stronger late game pick. But what do I know? I'm just a dirty supremacy player, aren't I? Now we're starting to see those Colossus come through. This is what I was talking about. Now, Volt, basically, he has to build Frost Giants. And that's going to stop these Fire Giants from having to be made. But it's not looking like he's making that decision here. The Frost Giants will completely put a halt to this pressure here. As these Colossus are going to take down this town center, because it looks like Volt decided to go with Fire Giants. And there's the Frost Giants starting to come out. He needs the population. The town center goes down. That's absolutely huge for Nakamura, because these town centers take forever to come back up. We're going to start seeing the walls trying to come back up. And now this push over here is getting defended as well. More units coming in. The Petropolis going to come through, be able to take down the walls. The Atlanta going to take out a Ballaster and everything else. We've got some Hostile coming through. And we'll see, can Nakamura keep this town center down or not? Volt at 140 of 140 population. The Fire Giants dealing with this. The Frost Giants are out. Those Colossus do manage to take down the settlement from getting built one more time, but now the Colossus have fallen. What is Nakamura going to try now? It looks like he's pushing over onto this location here. Going to try and make some ground over on this spot. We see a fortress coming up over here. And we'll see how this goes. The Flagstone of Buchan coming in does make these walls cheaper, making those gates and everything much cheaper. 45 gold goes down to 34 gold. Obviously, those stone walls are 7 gold now. It's still a lot to build them, but that's definitely a relic to pick up, as opposed to in Supremacy, where it's not really that. Well, it's not bad. It's obviously good because you want to build a lot of walls, but we'll see. Now we see the fortress going to be getting sniped down here as the raiding cavalry pushing back in to deal with those Apaspis. Raiding cavalry very, very strong against the Apaspis. Lots more, well, they've got a lot high hack armor, high HP against those low hack damage, low HP Apaspis. Obviously, kind of the best unit to use against Apaspis is probably the Bogs Viger, to be honest. just because they got low pierce armor, and the Bog's Viger are obviously very, very good. Look at 12.8 damage. Very, very strong unit. As we're starting to see another fortress coming back up, and it's looking like this talent center is going to be able to come back up for Volt. That's not what you want to see for Nakamura. He put a lot of effort into taking that town center down. I'm going to see him going with the Colossus again, and I don't think that Volt's going to fall for that trick twice here. I am surprised to see these fire giants still getting made. The big reason you go hell here as Loki is for those frost giants at this point in the game, when the Colossus and the Heliopolis come through, and we are seeing him retroactively building those frost giants to deal with this. This town center is going to be getting taken down. We see Theseus. Look at that damage Theseus does to the fire giant there. He is a tank in the late game with full iron, 312 HP. Do see the Heliopolis does go down. The frost giant comes in to pick off one of those gold colossus. That's going to slow this this town center from dying down completely. We're starting to see the Petropolis pushing in onto this location, utilizing some of this open wood situation here. Cersei getting built yet again. Love to see this unit coming through. Very, very different. Thanks so much for the 100 bits there, Alien Pro. Appreciate it, man. We see, like, immediately the Ballaster should just target this unit down. She's kind of got low HP for a Mythic Age hero. So 487 HP. That's similar to what Theseus or Hippolyta have. No, unlike Polyphemus, who's sitting at like 700 or something. So the Ballaster getting those. I mean, Atlanta, right? She's got 455, so around about the same as the Cersei. So you can snipe down the Cersei very quickly with these Ballaster from afar. I'm just seeing the Bog's Viger can snipe out everything very quickly as well. Such strong units here in the late game. Clearly, these players haven't really heard of Hostile Bog's Viger just yet, because that's undefeatable composition, isn't it? But the market's getting sniped down. We do have this market over here that is cheekily sitting in this location as the trade all coming through. But Nakamura is just playing this game and waiting it out. He does have the better economy at this point. We do see the market in swapped up to the top side of the map. Very, very smart here from Volt. He might want to consider finishing this wall off as well. As we see the Bog's Viger coming through, the Colossus coming through as well. Going to look to take down some stuff on this top location. I don't see a temple anywhere nearby, so the closest temple is here. And these Colossus, they just don't die quickly at all. There are these Bog's Viger, which do deal 200% bonus damage against myth units, but it's 80% pierce armor. So even with the 200%, it doesn't feel like that much. The Tyroi racing in here now, going to be taking down this talent center 110%. This is going to be dead, and that's going to be huge because this location is much better set up and closer for Nakamura. If he can get a Petropolis in here, I believe he can even target down this location from afar. And as long as he keeps that alive, it's going to be 140 pop against 160 pop, and then it's just a matter of time here. See the Tyroi retreating back here, going to be looking to move up to the top here and maybe take down the market. He is going after this hill fort here. Cersei coming in to help out as well, but that is one dead hill fort. Meanwhile, what's going on over here? We're starting to see some more towers coming up. Volt still hasn't managed to make the push through. I mean, the thing that's frustrating me is he's got no economy at all here, and he's just like, he needs something more, and he's not going for it. The temple's up, so he could try some mountain giants here, but he just doesn't have the resources for it. This costs 250 food, but it is 250 food that he has to spend. If he got some mountain giants to push through here and role play as the Colossus while all the heroes at the top of the map, could be very, very good. But looks like the town center is on the way back up. A Petropolis or two are out now for Nakamura as he's repairing up his walls, making sure those stay alive here. The Tyroi coming in, do spot this location here. This Ox Caravan will drop off his 89 gold before getting his life taken from him But Volt's got 3,000 gold at the moment, so gold isn't really the problem for him. It's just everything else is basically just population here. So we'll see if he can get this up. The Petropolis, I think, is in range here. So he can just sit in here and snipe away. So you see the Petropolis walking forward in order to hit this. Nope, he's not. He's going after the longhouse, I guess. Ulfsark immediately tasked to take down the Petropolis. And Cersei over here trying to hold on. I mean, Nakamura is at 160 population here, so maybe he's overdone it on the economy. You can see a lot of food here, a lot of wood. It's not a bad idea to just take some villages and move forward and then just spam towers out at this point. And there's that Petropolis we were talking about. One shot makes it very, very difficult. But Volt is definitely trying to stay alive, get that town center back up. We see some raids over here getting dealt with by the Frost Giant. Cersei over here to clean up this push over here. We see some walls coming in here for Nakamura to close off this this little space up here. Meanwhile, more Colossus making their way through. But this is what I'm talking about. The Frost Giant, they counter these Colossus so very, very well. You see this third Colossus gets taken down. The Tyroi, though, different story. Very, very good unit at this in this part of the game. Tyroi come in. Going to be sniping some villages over here, cleaning up that economy. If we check out the units again, there's only 31 villages made by Volt. His caravan's still at 25, so he's still got around about 55, 56 villages. And at 140 pop, it's probably fine to have that many, but Nakamura still not able to make this push happen. More Colossus coming in for Nakamura. He's dead set on using those, keeping those Frost Giants out of the game. See how many units are on this town center area. He's got so many. And Nakamura just has to come in and just whack it a couple of times and he can prevent that one. We see the Tyroi checking out this market over here. Can clean that one up at some point. But it does look like Nakamura is sort of out of gold mines here. So his trade route needs to get improved. He can very easily move into this corner though. As he does, he's drawing up that market in the corner. So we see the temples coming down. He's got the walls already set up, so he just needs to clean up these buildings. There is an Ulfsark here causing chaos by building some more longhouses. These Tyroids coming in, does kill off an ox cart. It's going to hurt a little bit. The Colossus just on cue coming back in to kill off this town center. The settlement for Volt just not coming back up ever. Walls getting taken down yet again. More walls trying to come up for Volt in order to give him some time here. The Hill Fort just about to come up, and he does manage to get that one up. We've still got Heliopolis and Petropolis getting queued out over here. We don't really see a lot of progress being made, but the fortress under siege by the Ballista. Very slow. But with those villages repairing, it's going to be a long, hard-fought fortress to kill. There's a Tyroi coming in to try and take down the Ballista here. And are these donkey caravans going to immediately... No, they don't immediately swap because they're going to this town center. Nakamura needs to manually click them and click onto this town center here if he wants them to go to the far market or this town center here. So his markets are up. He might just feel like it's not worth it just yet. We are seeing another wall coming up over here for Nakamura. Tyroi in the back, just waiting to move in and take down the gates and everything else. You see some more. This Atlanta coming in for raids now. She wants to be a raider with the 6.0 speed. It's not a bad idea. She does so much damage, 16 hack damage a second. She'll be able to take down this Hersa very, very easily. Though she does have she's got tons of armor as well. This unit is busted. Look at that unit. 60 hack damage, hack armor, 63 pierce armor. Just living the dream. Finally starting to see some portable rams coming out for Volt. It's too little too late, I reckon. Is this Hatairoi push coming through for Nakamura going to prevent this town center from going up yet again? Now Nakamura is starting to float resources. He really needs to think about sending some villagers forward. One of those little known tricks of the late game is float resources and do a mini villager Ragnarok. So you send 20 or so villagers forward, queue villagers up out of your town centers in order to replace them, and just spam towers out until they get picked off, and then you can repopulate if you need be, but have extra population for your army. But meanwhile, we're still seeing some progress being made over here. Some more ballast are coming up. Volt is not making this easy for Nakamura at all. And the fortress does go down, trying to throw up some more walls over here. But look at these militia. They're no slouches. 11.2 damage. All the upgrades plus champion infantry. They got 145 HP. Compare that to the Ulfsark, 136 HP. They got more HP than an champion Ulfsark. Just living the dream. Frost Giant's doing a lot to protect here. Cersei coming in, going to get instantly sniped yet again. Killing off these Frost Giants is the hard part about being a Greek player, that's for sure. Seeing Nakamura finish up these walls in the top corner, going to throw up a fortress, archery range, everything else. Talent Center is getting very, very close to going down as Nakamura is not dealing with this very well at all. We see a portable ram coming through. Probably not going to be enough to kill the Talent Center. Yeah, we can see it's going up faster than it's going down at this point. If this Talent Center gets back up, we are kind of looking at a very stalematy position here. Because Nakamura is pretty much set up. Volt is very much set up. The walls are kind of everywhere here. Colossus coming through, going to try and bash down these walls. And it does look like the Town Center... No, the Town Center gets back up. Nakamura has his Petropolis. He's got a chance. And he just misses it. 1 second earlier, Town Center probably would have stayed down. And funnily enough, this gold mine here is causing a lot of chaos here for Nakamura, because he would love to have this wall coming out here so that his catapult would be safe behind the walls, but obviously can't do it because of the gold mine. But he could do it over this side. He could push in here. Meanwhile, Volt's pushing through over this side. He's back to no resources, 126, 160 population. Trying to work out what the best units to be building at this point are. And I've talked about this in the Supremacy games. It's like you don't really want to build Ballaster unless you've got walls to put them behind. So start out with the portable rams to cause pressure while building the walls, and then swap into the Ballaster is generally the right way to go. Because they both cost approximately the same, but the portable rams stay alive for longer. Now we finally see Nakamura switching up his trade route. Now he's getting the 86 gold that Volt is getting. He's 83, 86. But Nakamura's also got the extra relic, which makes those speedier. He's going to be in a good position here. Nakamura's kind of hitting a bit of a stalemate. Like, he just can't figure out a way to push forward. We've got some random granaries up here in order to help get this town center back up. A lot of villages here to repair for Nakamura. So we see the granary going down. Portable ram attempting to take down this town center. The Frost Giants, though, imagine if these were some... I mean, they're actually really, really smart. Frost Giants here, very, very good. This Fire Giant probably maybe make it a Mountain Giant. Really, very, very tough. Looks like the Talent Center might fall here for Nakamura. Very back and forth game so far. 37 minutes of kind of non-stop action here. This Talent Center is getting so close to falling. But Cersei is out. She'll clean up these Frost Giants very, very quickly. We're starting to see some more portable rams coming in. And it does look like the Talent Center stays alive for another day. Now maybe Volt's going to be going for these markets up here if he can push through with the Mountain Giant. See what he wants to do. It looks like he is going through this wall, but there's like a double set of walls here. Chemo walls, if you will. Now we see Cersei dealing a lot of damage here. And a little bit of a 300 choke point from Nakamura as well. It's very, very little amount of push through that he can do. But I mean, if Volt can just set up this wall again, get these baluster back in, get out enough baluster and towers, he should be okay in this position. Oh, you see this Mountain Giant, he's pushing through. He's going to get through. It takes a long time to take down these fortified walls. He will eventually take him down, I think. I mean, maybe the Fortress wins this fight. It's actually probably going to be pretty close. That's the power of fortified walls and architects. Look at this. Stone wall gives 500 extra hit points plus hack vulnerability. Fortified walls gives hit points plus the wall line of sight. The Mountain Giant is out. Town Center is fully repaired, but there are 9 baluster here. 9 baluster. That's going to be a very, very quick dealt with Town Center here. But there's no walls. The Tyroi coming through. Oh, we see an Einhjar spawn. An Einhjar spawn. That's going to buff the baluster to deal even more damage. What a spawn. Not that it really mattered that much. But the Town Center does go down. Nakamura is now down to 2 Town Centers. He's going to be attempting to make a push over onto this side here. Sending through the Colossus. But now, how does Nakamura hold this? There's so much siege here. And Nakamura has been struggling for population all game because he's over-economized. We'll see what he's going to be able to do. Looks like the Colossus over here get cleaned up. It's just that against Hell, against Skadi, it's just Colossus just don't work, or especially against Hell, where the Frost Giants get built instantly with that 95% reduction in myth unit training time. Skadi, it's a little bit different. You have to look after your Frost Giants and things like that. And now Volt can push forward. He shouldn't really be pushing forward with the baluster just yet. Look at the damage those Prodromus do. Every shot, basically, looks like 5 shots kills a baluster or something. That's crazy. And obviously only 85 HP, and the Prodromus deal how much bonus damage against siege is it? 150%. It's looking at like 25 damage. Pretty crazy. We'll see Nakamura attempt to get some guard towers up. This is like some of the first guard towers he's seriously made on the front line. As you can see, there's none over here. This feels like a big reason why Nakamura hasn't been able to make much ground or hold any of the pushes. You can see even with the crenellations making these towers a little bit less strong, they still chew through these Prodromus very, very quickly. Now we've got the Nemean Rex coming back through, and Is Nakamura going to get this talent center back up? It looks like he's going to get the talent center back up at some point here because Volt's lost all of his baluster. He's lost his footing over here. But now we see Voltcat coming through here. He's found his way through. If he can throw up some buildings, this is going to be terrifying for Nakamura to deal with. And that may be worth giving Nakamura his settlement back. Though I don't know. We see the market gets cleaned up as well. So these donkey caravans have to be swapped around. Obviously 3,000 gold for Nakamura is plenty. And the settlement will get denied for the time being. You just need to put up one wall here. And you're going to be okay. But he's not going for it just yet. Obviously with 27 gold, it's a bit of an ask. You see Volt's got his longhouses up in this position here. Over here we see the walls getting cleaned up. Volt's gold economy going to come through from that that line of trade. It's not very consistent, but it comes through. And now Volt's back up to 1,000, 12,000 resources, 12,000 gold. And the town center's back up. You just can't keep a town center down in this game mode, apparently. Archery range under attack. Volt's still pushing through. He's got a very, very big and easy route into his opponent's base here. So we can get a good amount of buildings down. You want to start with a wall first when you're in these positions, because that's going to allow you to then build behind it while they have to deal with the walls. But it's looking like Volt is going straight for this town center, and we're seeing Nakamura setting up his fortress in this location. Meanwhile, Volt and Nakamura are going to meet in the middle of the map very, very soon. There's still trees kind of everywhere here. Funny to see them both going for the middle of the map. See the Heliopolis in the back, pushing back. Got some Paspists coming out. Toxotes as well being made for some reason. Those towers look like they've all been picked off. The champion of Tyroi actually very, very smart use against the myth units, because they also get a 50% bonus damage against myth units with the Beast Slayer, which comes free. Normally you don't see that upgrade getting researched too much in Supremacy, because it's 250 gold food, 300 gold, 15 favor, and it's not that useful. Only one of your units gets an extra boost to it. So it's expensive unit for one unit. Sorry, expensive technology for a buff on one unit. But in Deathmatch, it's seeming like it's very, very useful. So if you ever get into those late game scenarios where you feel like your opponent's making a lot of myth units and you don't have the heroes to deal with it, you can get that Beast Slayer upgrade. We're starting to see some hammer trolls being made for some reason. Volt's struggling for resources, so making hammer trolls. These guys are awfully weak. 300 HP. I think that might even be a buff. He's got the hammer troll, so that's why. And it looks like these buildings have been picked off yet again, and we're back to the same stalemate where we were in 40 minutes ago. This is like sort of the way that Volt's been playing this all game. Has been, the idea has been no eco, wait till the eco comes in, spam through with 160 pop, whereas Nakamura has been like lots of eco and just consistent fighting and swapping the front. We're seeing more buildings coming up here for Volt, but the Tyroi do look like they'll be able to come in and deny this at the very least. So as he comes in, going to be trying to get some more damage done. Tyroi not here. There's a couple here, but the Heliopolis after the Town Center yet again. There's nothing really stopping this one here. It's like a lot of the attention's being thrown over this side of the map. This Heliopolis doing tons of damage. Tyroi coming back in, and Volt maybe losing his Town Center. These late games all come in waves, it seems like. The Deathmatch. It looks like the Town Center does go down yet again. We'll see if Volt can pull something out of his bag yet again. And Nakamura seemingly has the advantage now. I see the fortress coming up for Nakamura. More fire giants coming through for Volt. He needs to... Well, he's going to throw up guard towers here. I don't think that's a bad idea, but I think if he just throws up a stable or something big in this location, if he can fit it in here, granaries even, then he can build the Petropolis in to make sure this settlement doesn't come up. And Volt does end up tapping out in the 47th minute of this game. What a mess of a game. Looks like both players had chances to win this game throughout, but just not able to put the nail in the coffin, as it were, in order to just finish this one off. Over here, after this Town Center was down by Volt, he just needed to get some more walls up, but I think he didn't have the gold to manage that at that point, so he just lost all his ballista to a couple of units, which is not something you really want. Anyways, that's the first game, a slog of a game there. We've got a best of 7. So we'll move on to game number 2 very shortly. If you're enjoying these games and enjoy Deathmatch, definitely check out the Deathmatch community. You can exclam DM in the Twitch chat for the moment to see all you need to know Deathmatch. And if you like what I'm doing with the casts, and consider hitting the follow button or even the subscribe button on the YouTubes. And I'll see you guys in the next game.